Here are the best 4 dividend stocks that secure a monthly return in 2023. Stocks in companies that pay out dividends on a consistent basis are known as dividend stocks. For investors, dividend stocks can serve as stable income generators, and the best dividend stocks can also be excellent vehicles for long-term wealth creation. Many investors do not know where to begin their search for high-quality dividend stocks, despite the fact that not all dividend stocks are created equal. With that in mind, I've compiled a list of dividend-paying stocks you may want to consider, as well as some of the most key characteristics of the best dividend stocks. You may be seeking a large dividend payout for one of 2 reasons, either to supplement your current income or to reinvest in order to grow your wealth. These are some recommendations if you want to maximize your dividend payouts. Prioritize dividend yield over dividend size. More important than the absolute dollar amount for dividends paid out each year is the dividend yield, or the percentage of the share price return to you each year. Second, do not prioritize buying high dividend yielding stocks above all else. Prioritize a company's ability to maintain and grow its payout as you evaluate its overall health. There's no other way to determine the long-term viability of a high dividend yield. Here are the lists you should watch out for. Number 1. Stag Industrial Incorporated, with the ticker symbol Stag. Stag's market value is $5.9 billion. The yield on the dividend as of December 2022 was 4.44%. Stag pays a dividend once a month and is taking advantage of the growth of online shopping similar to Amazon. Specifically, Stag finances logistics and light industrial buildings. You know, the kind of graded warehouse properties you might see near the airport where 18-wheelers are always dropping off and picking up cargo. Indeed, Stag Industrial invests in and maintains properties just like these. Stag is prepared to capitalize on the meteoric rise of the e-commerce industry. Approximately 40% of Stag's industrial portfolio deals with some kind of e-commerce fulfillment or related activity. Amazon.com is Stag's biggest tenant. For understandable reasons, online shopping exploded during the pandemic. However, as physical stores have gradually reopened over the past 2 years, the impact of that initial surge has gradually faded. Although it has slowed down a bit, the shift toward online shopping is evident and here to stay. The percentage of our purchases made online can only continue to rise. Although it may sound absurd, only about 15% of retail sales in the United States occur online. This leaves a lot of room for development. In addition, the logistics industry is crowded with numerous players, and Stag's leadership estimates that it's worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 trillion. That is to say, it is highly improbable that Stag will exhaust its options anytime soon. One of the best stocks to buy for a monthly dividend in 2023 is the unattractive Stag Industrial. It has a high yield of more than 4% and a bright future for expansion in the industry. Number 2. EPR Properties, ticker symbol EPR, with a market value of $3.1 billion. The yield on the dividend as of December 2022 was 8.1%. The year 2022 was a year for readjustment. The stock market suffered as a result of the Fed's effort to return to normal monetary policy and the end of the pandemic era of easy money. On the other hand, as we approach 2023, it has restored a sense of normalcy to our lives. For EPR Properties, that bodes well. Movie theaters, theme parks, ski resorts, restaurants, and entertainment venues like Topgolf are just a few of the many businesses that make up EPR's eclectic and varied portfolio. As 2023 progresses, the fact that EPR focuses on experiences rather than material goods should prove to be a significant competitive advantage. With the pandemic hit, we all gorged on material goods, but what we've really been doing is missing out on important social and professional interactions, and the sooner we can get back to those, the better for EPR's tenants. While EPR had previously increased and maintained its dividend payment schedule, the existential threat to its tenant base in 2020 caused the company to eliminate the dividend. However, the dividend cut was temporary, and by July 2021, the company had restored its monthly payout, and by March 2022, it had increased it. The dividend yield on the stock has increased to 8.1%. We may be entering a recession, and discretionary spending tends to take a hit when times are tough. Both the tight labor market and inflation make it more challenging to find workers, and inflation helps neither cause. In addition, a considerable portion of EPR's holdings are related to cinemas, and box office receipts have been slow to recover to pre-recession levels. Still, EPR has a nice potential turnaround play with an attractive yield and the potential for significant dividend growth in the next years ahead if you are willing to take a moderate amount of risk. Number 3. AGNC Investment Corporation, ticker AGNC, with a market value of $5.6 billion. The yield on the dividend as of December 2022 was 14.8%. Although AGNC Investment is a real estate investment trust, or REIT, it is unlike the other REITs on this list of dividend stocks that pay out every month, such as Realty Income and Stag. Instead of actual real estate, AGNC holds a diversified portfolio of mortgage-backed securities. Because of this, it enjoys the same tax advantages as a real estate investment trust. MREITs, or Mortgage Real Estate Investment Trust, are income vehicles with capital gains that avoid federal income taxes, so long as the company distributes at least 90% of its net income as dividends. When it comes to priorities, monster yielders like AGNC's 14.8% aren't exactly high on the list. For this very reason, AGNC only buys bonds and other securities issued by government-sponsored enterprises like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae, and the Federal Home Loan Banks. In this respect, it can be considered one of the safer wagers available. Many sources of passive income, such as mortgage interest rates and AGNC, were severely impacted by the 2022 interest rate increase. The stock, however, hit rock bottom in October and has been rising steadily ever since. Mortgage REITs, in contrast to equity REITs, which are backed by actual properties, are completely at the mercy of market yields. The risk of a dividend cut for AGNC exists if the yield curve remains inverted for an extended period of time. Given the prevalence of dividend cuts in the industry, AGNC could reduce its payouts and still boast a very competitive yield given the stock's current price. Number 4. Main Street Capital, ticker symbol MAIN. Its market value is $2.9 billion. The yield on the dividends as of December 2022 was 7.1%, where Main Street meets Wall Street is at business development companies. Typically, BDCs lend both debt and equity to mid-sized businesses. These are companies that have outgrown the realm of possibly funding via traditional means such as bank loans and retain earnings but aren't quite ready to go public with an IPO. Because of this chasm, business development companies, BDCs, were created. One such BDC, Main Street Capital of Houston, Texas, is among the best of its kind. Main Street is a turnaround play, similar to some of the stocks on this list. Main's portfolio companies have had a rough go of it over the past 2 years, with many smaller firms being less able to navigate the lockdowns than their larger peers. But they stuck it out and are now stronger than ever. Main Street is prudent in its dividend distribution by paying a modest dividend on a monthly basis and using surplus funds to distribute special dividends twice yearly. That way, even if earnings are temporarily low, Main Street Capital won't be in bind and won't have to reduce its dividend. As long as monthly dividend stocks go, Main Street's regular payout works out to a respectable 7.1%, and this does not include the special dividends. Main Street raised its monthly dividend earlier this year and managed to throw in an additional 17 cents per share in special dividends. A recession might slow down additional growth and special dividends for a few quarters, but do not expect it to slow Main Street down for long. Stockholders receive dividend payments when a company decides to distribute a portion of its profits to them. Dividends are a regular payment made to shareholders that can be used to offset the cost of buying stocks and can add to the overall return on investment. However, dividends aren't available on every stock. Dividend stocks, which you may have seen discussed in the news, are the best option for investors seeking regular income from their investments. Investors can hedge against the effects of high inflation by holding dividend stocks. Companies with a track record of dividend growth tend to be more stable than the market as a whole. Moreover, dividends can be a reliable source of income, which can help to moderate the overall volatility of a stock's return. What is the point of investing in stocks that pay dividends? Dividend-paying stocks can be a reliable source of supplemental income. Common shares dividends, like the returns on any investment, are never assured. However, established companies that do not need to reinvest as much cash into the business are more likely to pay dividends. A company's ability to pay dividends is often used as a proxy for its health. Once a dividend has been established or increased, investors will look to the company to continue paying it, even in lean times. Speculators will often discount a stock's value if they anticipate a dividend cut. Did you find this video helpful and informative? Please let us know in the comment section below. Please support us by showing your appreciation for this video and give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. If you want to be notified when we release a new video, click on the notification bell to be up to date on everything related to crypto and finance. That is it for today's video. This has been Diversified Streams. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you in our next video.